lights off, you turn the camera off, and I'll be naked when you come back.
Ladies and gentlemen and listeners all around the world, welcome to the one, the only People's Pipe Bomb.
The free agent situation. Yeah, I said it to the group, John, like, because the Sheamus thing is what, like, I was like, yo, you could create a storyline where whoever wins Survivor Series gets to first waiver priority on free agents coming off injury or whatever that didn't get drafted. And you can create storylines around that. I feel like that'd be really cool.
There's a lot of ways that you can make Survivor Series or things like it matter, where it's really just, like, especially with this year where it was like brand supremacy. We'll talk about that in a minute.
But brand supremacy, but alright.
It's always brand supremacy.
Great. NXT reigns supreme, except
Brand
what does it
supremacy.
mean?
Was it fucking David Duke out there on one of the teams?
Yeah. I mean,
A lot
Brand
of main
supremacy.
roster guys out there just doing the job.
I'm like,
for some
now that
guys.
NXT has brand supremacy, does that mean that, like, Tommaso Ciampa can, like, challenge Brock Lesnar for the belt? Like,
Whenever he wants.
I'm actually down for that match,
oh, that'd be cool.
as long as it's no disqualification.
Yeah, that'd be chill, actually. I fuck with that. Or Keith Lee even against Brock. I mean,
Keith Lee, baby. Bask is glory.
Unless he's winning that match, I wouldn't book that.
no, I wouldn't either. I was thinking, like, booking that's
Like,
probably
Brock-
a bad idea.
Brock
Unless
would
you
probably bury.
Yeah, he would. He would.
Bask. Anyway, welcome to the People's Pipe Bomb Podcast, the pro wrestling podcast where we lobby for the jobbers, advertise for the body guys, and amuse the marks while we react to the week, nay, the world of wrestling. I have to my left my esteemed colleague, Doctor of Wrestling Psychology, Dr. Grayson Board. How are you doing today, good doctor?
Oh, I'm doing great. I didn't have to go to work today. I got
Woo.
to chill at home, make some music, you know, see a few people, shake a few hands, kiss a few babies. It was lovely. It was lovely.
Politicking.
Blessed.
Politicking in these streets.
Indeed.
And then I have to my right, 2 T's, 2 D's. Big pimpin' was spending the G's. It's just the Cold Keith Grayson, an RODD fat rod, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night to some of you people all around America. How are we feeling today?
We're good.
I want to apologize and thank Cody Rhodes for
Oh, it's so sweet of you.
for making Triple H turn this motherfucker up one time.
Oh, shit.
Listen, Survivor Series weekend is probably one of the top 5 weekends ever in the last, let's just say, 5 years.
Facts.
NXT was lit. Survivor Series was lit. Monday Night Raw did what it was supposed to do.
Well, the weekend was fire, yeah.
Yes.
No, for real.
How we feeling, fellas?
I'm feeling good. How was y'all's, how was the turkey day? Thanksgiving, we're coming a week off of Thanksgiving.
We said grace. We ate.
Yeah, I did that too. I made the turkey for the first time ever. We named him Clarence. He was 25 pounds.
R.I.P. Clarence.
R.I.P. Clarence. He got butchered up, man. It was nasty. It was desecration, man. It was, but yo, it was good. We stuffed his ass full of giblets and sausage and stuffing.
Yeah, Rod and I, we were with the fam. We watched some ECW. Watched some, I don't remember what it was. Something from like 1999, maybe. I remember.
Was it barely legal?
I just remember Roadkill and Dastardly Danny Doring were having a match. So that kind of
Dude, Balls Mahoney. R.I.P. Balls Mahoney.
Yeah.
I would have thought he would have lived forever with a physique like that and a lifestyle like that.
Yeah.
Chair shot.
He's got big balls.
That's true.
But yo, barely legal. Vince, you guys see that Vince bought that, or not bought that, but filed for the rights to that term.
To barely legal.
Yeah, because Cody was buying up all sorts of old dusty property. Vince was like, well, you know what? Me and Paul Heyman have been jerking off recently. And I want Lana and Lashley on barely legal.
Of course. That's the one that Vince is like, oh, wait. Gotta get barely legal.
Lana, if you can come out there with pigtails and a lolly. Some sort of sailor outfit.
Yeah.
But anyway, everybody, thank you for listening. Just want to do a quick recap of our plug from last week because, the song remains the same. We have a Twitter and an Instagram page at People's Pipebomb Pod. So, if you want to check out and follow those pages, if you want to interact with us on the line, send some DMs, start some shit, tag us in something, maybe tag Seth Rollins and some shit we talk about.
I'm here
him
for
so
all the smoke.
We're here for the smoke. I'm just saying.
All of it.
If somebody wants to put us in on a convo with Seth Rollins, it seems like everybody else is fighting with that dude online. I'm not afraid. He's from Iowa. What's he gonna do? Beat me with a fucking piece of corn?
He's from Iowa. Enough said.
Enough said. Was he? He don't even lift, bro. He's CrossFit Jesus or whatever, man. Come on.
He's the.
There's no gas in that tank, bro. Seth, I'm calling you out right now, motherfucker. I've been on the creatine lately, bro. Check my closet, dude. I got 2 boxes of that shit from Amazon. I'm ready to roll.
He's the second toughest man in his household.
Ooh, I love my wife. As I was saying, we have our backlog of episodes on YouTube. So you go to YouTube, you search People's Pipe Bomb or People's Pipe Bomb Podcast, and you will find our backlogged episodes. Our latest episode is going to be on our SoundCloud, /People's Pipe Bomb Pod. You can listen to it there. And like I said, all the other ones are going to be backlogged on YouTube, so you can always check it out. If you miss one week, you can always catch up on it later. As Rod was alluding to, Survivor Series weekend that happened
Liddy bang bang.
a little bit before the Thanksgiving holiday. The previous weekend was amazing. It was lit. Both War Games and Survivor Series were amazing. And I gotta say, heading into this convo, we heard a lot about WWE being at its best when they have competition, especially when AEW was announced. We heard that a lot. Back in January of last year, everybody rumbling, all the WWE loyalists were like, well, you know what? When they had to go head-to-head Monday Night Wars, they really pulled out some of the best ideas. And, for the most part, I was like, yeah, you could talk, say that, whatever you want. But this was the first time where I really feel like they put up or shut up. And they really, since AEW Dynamite went on the air, they really pushed for NXT to be a legitimate show. And something that they really want to put at the forefront of their brand. And I think they really pulled this shit off. I mean, the weekend was great. And it was an example of WWE using the talent they have in their system properly. Like Rod said, Cody Rhodes, they had competition. They had to deal with AEW. And I think they really let, Triple H and NXT. I feel like people were calling the shots that haven't normally been calling the shots. The booking felt a little more even. It made sense. And because of that, it was a great show. What did you guys think of War Games and Survivor Series?
I thought War Games was great.
Yeah.
I thought War Games was
Games!
War Games was fantastic.
War Games was lit for sure.
Yeah, very, very good.
Let's start with it. The heel turn in the women's War Game match. First off, I was looking for the swerve. I've seen I think I've seen every War Games match there is. First off, let's take 5 seconds. This is where you pause the show and you go back, go into your WWE app, and you look up War Games from this weekend. And just go right to Dakota Kai smashing the damn cage on, what's the name?
Tegan Knox.
Tegan Knox. Tegan, follow me, baby. People's Pipe Bomb.
Follow us, man. We'll follow you back.
We are currently following you, wishing you a speedy recovery. But it was a good swerve. I didn't expect that from the babyface team. The biggest swerve usually comes from, the heel team and how they would set it up. It didn't make Io Shirai and Bianca Belair look too overly heelish, even though they were on the heel team. Same. Even though they both have that in them, I still feel like they're still baby faces on the NXT roster, technically.
In the same sort of way that, Undisputed Era is over because, you know what I mean? They're heels, but people they're just crafty.
Yeah.
They're creative and cool.
Yeah.
And they're good wrestlers. I feel like that kind of goes a long way as well.
Yeah. And to your point, Rodney, the whole thing with Dakota Kai is that she was such a white meat baby face, just coming out to that corny flute DDR music that she has and everything, and just being like, I'm just from New Zealand,
It worked for her though.
Yeah, it worked.
The heel turn, yes, is what she needed. It's like would never happen to Bailey.
Exactly.
You know, to get the I'm a good guy off my back. And it just was like, yes, now let's move on with your career.
Yeah.
Like, it was needed. But,
Bailey's going through that. You know, you could say, I mean, I still like it, but a little too late to a certain degree.
Yeah.
With that.
I just didn't see it coming, and it came perfectly. Like, you know, everybody's looking up at the ramp. Shayna Baszler's like, oh, shit. Like, is this really happening? Like, it was at a sweet time.
And it served such a great purpose. Again, I mean,
it put everybody in the match over.
Yeah.
I won't go that far, but it definitely puts a rocket up Rhea Ripley's ass pretty hard between this and what happens the next day.
He said it, not me, baby. He said it, not me.
I'm going to say that old wrestling parlance sounds more offensive when talking about a lady wrestler than a classic.
Fair enough.
But yo, whatever. It's 2019, man. We can all have rockets up our ass.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, she's getting put so far over right now. I mean, they are like seemingly setting up a feud between she and Becky right now. I mean, they're really
her and Sasha, her and Becky. Rhea Ripley is getting put over to the moon right now, and I think that heel turn by Dakota Kai in that women's match really set up Rhea to shine because it was just 2-on-4 at that point. Because then you have Rhea Ripley and Candice LeRae versus all of the heels, the whole team. So, which War Games match did you think was booked better? The men's match between Team Ciampa and the Undisputed Era, or the women's match between Rhea Ripley's team and Shayna Baszler?
The men's match.
Not which one was better, which one was booked?
The men's match. But completely better all the way.
Tell me why.
Because Daddy went to war.
Daddy went to war.
Daddy started the match. Daddy ended the match. You know, and it just was told right for Ciampa. It was Ciampa's War Games versus the Undisputed Era. Like, the last 3 years, it's Undisputed Era in the match. You know, it's like, that's why we tune in. Like, they're the best group, team. You know, they got the most chemistry. You know, and it's like, how do you beat them? Like, going into the match versus them is definitely tough. You know, but Ciampa started the match. He didn't look at them when he came out. Like, his music played. He looked at Undisputed Era. He didn't even look at his team. Like, it was time to go. Oh, yeah. Like, I think that to me sold me into like, oh yeah, let's get it. You know, and even with him calling out Adam Cole, you know, to start the match, and Roderick Strong stepping in, like, to me, like, it just was great story. Like, the detailing of it. Like, everybody know Roderick Strong get busy. Like,
we saw it on Survivor Series. We'll talk about it a little bit later.
I keep saying he should be the first member kicked out of Undisputed Era, but Bobby Fish can't stay fucking healthy to save a life.
It's a shame. I love Bobby Fish.
You know, I'm not trying to start nothing, but that's just what it is. But like, I would love to see them kick him out, but like replace him with somebody new. But he'll be the new guy that goes against him. Like, I feel like him versus any one of those guys are like top matches. Like, Roderick Strong gets busy in the ring,
and Roderick Strong will make a really good babyface.
He is. He's still a babyface.
I mean, he is. But I mean, I feel like he could make like a traditional good guy. Like, I don't know.
He could put on like a red jacket and just be James Dean from like Rebel Without a Cause.
It works.
He's like, Dad, I'm the messiah of the backbreaker and you don't understand me.
I think I also liked the men's match more. I definitely had some issues with the women's match in some ways. I mean, putting Rhea Ripley over big, I'm down for that. I think she's really good. I see what they're doing there. I guess, again, the women's match itself is fine with me. I guess the booking from the women's match going into the next day and what happens in the Survivor Series match is kind of what I had issues with.
That was my only beef with the match, but it just like I guess great on like the rocket that Rhea Ripley's on, but she needs it. I mean, they need a legit badass.
She seems to be in better position than anybody else over the past year to take the belt off of Shayna.
Agreed, and it's not that I don't like Rhea Ripley. I do actually really like Rhea Ripley. I don't know. It seems like it's coming a little bit out of nowhere, but
she just got pushed a lot.
Yeah, and it's
cool. 2 weeks.
Again, I think she deserves it because I do really like her, and again, she fits the badass kind of like you need like a. I don't know. She's like.
They're building
Charlotte's size, only she like looks like she could actually really fuck somebody up. Unlike Charlotte,
can she go with Charlotte? Like, can she give Charlotte a 5-star match?
I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, maybe not right now, but I think she's on the way.
I'm not interested in feuds that doesn't have a 5-star potential.
Also, well, here's the thing. Charlotte is, how old is Charlotte? Probably like 33, something like that.
Gorgeous.
You say gorgeous?
Gorgeous.
She's gorgeous years old, baby. She don't look a day over. God damn.
He loves his wife.
Lord have mercy.
I love my wife. Yeah, Charlotte's got good gear. Whatever. You gotta have good gear. That's the new signal, by the way, is that somebody's got good gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charlotte's early 30s, 33, maybe 34, I think. And Rhea Ripley's 23, so she's only going to get better. She's the same age as MJF.
Yeah.
They're both, two totally different types of performers, but both people with huge ceilings that I think could do great things. So Rhea Ripley, I think in some years could put on some of the best women's matches possible. But I thought that the women's match, the women's War Games match, was booked better in my opinion because I like the Ciampa and Cole storyline and the way they're building that sort of dynamic with the championship. But it's all about building up Rhea Ripley to take the belt off of Shayna. And I think they did it in such a way by getting Dakota Kai to turn heel and making it 2 against 4 and just showing the fortitude of Rhea Ripley and the brazenness, because so many people are afraid to go toe-to-toe with Shayna on that level, and she handcuffed herself to her.
Yeah.
And then just beat her ass and got the finish because she was able to handcuff herself to her and hit the riptide through some chairs. What was the spot of the night?
Let me think about that for 2 seconds.
I'm like,
when Bianca Belair came in and the way that she was throwing these little motherfuckers into the cage, that shit was crazy. Like
she was getting fucking
diesel.
She was getting down. She was hidden. All the shit with her and Candice LeRae, the kendo sticks and the trash can. She got put through a trash can and shit. She was taking bumps. She was giving out bumps.
Yeah, Io had the off the cage, John.
Io did a moonsault off the cage. You had
she sat up on that cage for like 5 minutes looking around.
I mean, it to me it still might be Ciampa sending Adam Cole off the top.
Yeah, that was dope.
Fact. Yeah, he put him on his back, did an air raid Samoan drop off of the cage through 2 tables.
Some real war shit.
and then they showed Britt Baker Adam Cole's girlfriend, Britt Baker, in the crowd.
Oh yeah, you saw that yesterday too. I'm assuming.
I told y'all Triple H was wilding out this weekend. He wants everybody. How much they paying you, Britt?
So Survivor Series specifically, we were teasing at it. We talked a little bit about it. We did predictions last time, and this time around, Grayson, our own Dr. Grayson, the doctor of wrestling psychology himself, has won the Promo in the Bank.
PROMOINTHEBANK. Promo in the bank, you are the best at predicting shit, so tell them kiss my ass. Hey.
With 5 wins, five and whatever the hell losses. But he predicted the most matches. So Grayson, it's your promo in the bank. You can cash it in whenever you want, man. What do you think?
I was really seriously considering holding on to it for the right moment, but this conversation was kind of going in a direction of something that I kind of had on my mind, this idea that was kind of running around in my head earlier today. There's just so much talk about the war, the Wednesday Night Wars, AEW, and NXT, and which one is better, and everybody has their opinions, and everybody's getting their panties in a bunch about it, and that's all well and good.
I got the craziest wedgie right now.
Yeah, see? And that's all well and good, but I feel like people are losing sight of the fact that the best wrestling is happening in Japan right now. New Japan Pro Wrestling is still quietly in the background kicking AEW and NXT's ass.
Ooh, tell him, Daddy.
And yeah, I was kind of just trying to think about why I think that is. I mean, granted, they definitely have the better costumes of either one of them.
Ooh, Taichi.
Yeah. Like Okada and Tanahashi. Oh my gosh. And they have, I think, the better matches. And why do they have the better matches? I think it's because all the matches matter. There's so many of them tend to matter. You have a lot of tournaments and things like that. For me personally, at least, you know, you have like a dope G1 run. Like, to talk about what we were talking about just a second ago with the talent in WWE and how they don't necessarily have the talent to be able to put on an NXT with Raw and SmackDown. I don't necessarily agree with that. And I think what they need to do is they need to turn Raw or SmackDown, one of the two, into the mid-card show. You could have NXT, which is NXT. It'll continue being NXT.
Ooh. You'll
have the mid-card show, which will have your Shinsuke Nakamuras, your Ricochets, your guys who I think could have good NXT-style, New Japan-style, high work rate, good matches. Your guys tend to get relegated to the Intercontinental Championship tier on the main roster. And then you still have your Roman Reigns's and your Seth Rollins's and your The Fiend's, Brock Lesnar. You can put all those guys on the big boy show and have them cut bad promos and rest hold each other to death. But so the mid-card show, I think, would be another good I guess at the end of the day, I don't want to have to watch Raw and SmackDown both every week at this rate. Like, they need to consolidate some of this bullshit down.
10 hours of wrestling per week.
No, for real
lot.
though. They gotta cut some of this bullshit out. And I think the best way to do it is put it all on one fucking show that none of us will watch. And and then we can have Kevin Owens and all the other people that actually want to wrestle and like put on good matches and cut promos and the mid-card show.
Yeah.
And again, this will get rid of the damn draft. It'll be like soccer. Your top 4 guys and your bottom 4 guys of each show, they get a chance to get relegated or promoted. You'll have singles matches or a tournament or something on Survivor Series where some guys will go from Raw up to SmackDown, some guys will go from SmackDown down to Raw, and it'll be head-to-head matches. And WWE will still be able to storyline it and choose who stays where, blah, 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 but it'll at least make some fucking sense, and it'll make the matches matter. And then, again, I won't have to watch 5 hours of your stupid bullshit. Put it all on a 3-hour show, 3-hour show of stupid bullshit. You can have 2 hours of, like, mid-card good stuff, and then we'll have NXT. Yeah, I think everybody will be happy. There'll be some Survivor Series. We'll actually have some long-term effects, and then we can get rid of the arbitrary draft.
So Survivor Series, because it's interesting. So because Survivor Series is an inter-promotional or rather inter-brand show,
right?
That's when you can make some more determinations, like these matches that are between.
You can have
something because that was what was missing. Like we're talking, and we're going to talk more about it. That's sort of what was missing behind this Survivor Series because the draft just happened last month. So brand loyalty, with the exception of NXT. It actually makes sense for a couple of reasons that NXT won, but like one of them is, dude, I just got to Raw or SmackDown. Why the fuck do I care?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Other than NXT had something to prove. The other two brands, guys just joined there. So if you're doing it that system, then the idea is you're not only motivated to represent your brand, but you're motivated to potentially get promoted or to fight for your spot.
Right. Or then, guys that are like not getting... I like to bring up Sami Zayn a lot. Let's say Sami Zayn, he's been, lost a million matches in a row, whatever. Like, he'll at least have a match at Survivor Series that'll matter. He'll, like, be on the big stage and have a big match at least once a year where it's like, are you going to go up? Or are you going to stay where you are on one of the 2 name brand shows? Are you going to get moved down to NXT? Like, and if somebody like that gets...
Or are you going to get fired?
Right. Because I guess the other thing with Survivor Series, again, like, you win a big match at Survivor Series, like, I'd like to see you get a title shot or something. Like, NXT wins a bunch of matches, and then...
There's no fallout. The fallout is that the people that have not tuned into NXT and haven't given it its fair shake and are WWE fans that buy pay-per-views, now they're going to say, holy shit, I guess I should be watching NXT.
Yeah.
It's a smart move, and I gotta say...
it makes a lot of sense.
Talking about Survivor Series in particular, it was a great pay-per-view, and one of the things that I was obviously off on when we were making predictions, I said, WWE is gonna want to push SmackDown. I said SmackDown was gonna win the majority of the matches, and I was wrong. because they went with NXT, and it makes so much more sense because they got the Wednesday Night Wars. What's more important to win? They're not in competition on Fridays.
No.
Wednesday night, they got to push that rating. They got to make people watch that show.
Friday
What's
is a
good way
wild
to do
card
it?
for them.
Yeah.
We could do good if we have to, but if we don't, see you Monday.
So what did you think about that? Was it the right call to push NXT as a brand?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it almost goes without saying. Yeah.
They push NXT, but it's like, did they really push NXT how hard they could have pushed NXT? Because they didn't. You know, they won the majority of the matches, but like...
They pushed them hard enough where a classic WWE fan who knows Vince McMahon and his cantankerous ways, it was shocking that they would do that with NXT, because I really thought that they were going to push the money, because the big money is behind SmackDown. That's where a lot of their cash is tied up. But at the same time, they're in conflict on Wednesdays. So like I don't know why I didn't see it coming, but I think that for Vince, or for people that think of Vince as being sort of conservative with his shit, it was a surprise that they even let NXT win more than one match.
Yeah, I was surprised that they won more than one, honestly. I really was.
That's one of the things that made the night so good for, a real hardcore wrestling fan. Rodney, you'd rather see Raw win? You big Raw guy?
No, I mean,
you like it Raw?
I like...
Ooh, baby, you like it Raw?
I like what they did with Raw. I like that Raw loss. I like that the follow-up to Raw mattered because of them losing at Survivor Series. So
Facts.
It's like, it's continuing. It's continuing. But again, I feel like Raw is still laying the groundwork for what the show is going to be in 2020. We just was talking off air not too long ago about how WWE is actually structured in a year, and it's Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, with a few other pay-per-views thrown in between now. It's like this is the time of the year that they get ready to make their push for the new year. So
True.
It's just like if they're going to go in with like a heel Rollins or a face Owens, it's just like now is the time that, you start building that. Like one, that could be WrestleMania and we don't even see it right now. I think a Rollins versus Owens WrestleMania is well overdue at this point in the game.
That'd be dope. I'd love that. I would love that, man. You could have said that to me, 4 years ago, and I would have loved that idea.
But no, I mean, but I
still
feel like
love the idea.
I feel like right now, Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins are. How can I compare it? They're stepping into like their Rock Steve Austin push, like positions in the company, where it's just like, yo, we are the top guys right now, like where we're at, and it's just like we got to compete, and we got to push each other, and that's what they're bringing out of each other. It's like we haven't really gotten the fight Kevin Owens fight that everybody has always wanted pre WWE Kevin Owens. Like you haven't gotten that in WWE yet.
The Raw after Survivor Series, Seth Rollins starts to set up his heel turn where he's complaining that nobody has his back. The fans are always he can't do anything right.
You said he was calling motherfudges out.
He was calling motherfuckers out. He had a locker room meeting out in the ring. He had a locker room meeting in the ring and just called everybody out and started acting like a dickhead. And
Well, let's be clear. Called everybody out except for one person. Person who probably dropped the biggest ball of the night, Becky Lynch.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's really true.
Did not call her out, and she was not present at the meeting.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I wanted. That I had a few questions regarding this meeting and this character change for Seth. First of all, Seth Rollins turning heel in this way, does it give him back a little bit of... he had the heat from everybody disliking his face promos and stuff like that. Does his character as a heel... is he not only harnessing that heat, but also getting his voice back on the microphone, so to speak? Like I can believe what he's saying now because he sounds like he does on Twitter.
Yeah, this feels like the real Seth Rollins to some extent.
He's not wearing the mask right now. He's taking the mask off. He's being Seth fucking Rollins.
Yeah, whiny Seth.
And it's just like...
Whiny Seth, Molly Percocet, mask off.
Let's get it. I feel like this is what... I hated Seth Rollins' first heel run. I didn't like it.
No, me either.
I mean, I'm not that it was really him. I just feel like some of the booking was botched. Some of the... He killed Sting.
He killed Sting.
It's just a lot of things weren't going right in that heel run, even though it was being done right, but it's like I like the fact that he's upgrading his J&J security. You know,
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's AOPing his situation.
I'm very excited about him teaming with the AOP. I feel like that's actually going to be a
How
very
about
good
this?
fit.
Seth and AOP versus Roman and the Usos. I'm here for it.
I was saying to Keith earlier today that a Seth Roman feud again. I'd be here for that right now.
Listen, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Is Seth versus Kevin Owens the best product that they could put forward right now? Is for this heel Seth, is KO the best face? Vice versa.
I mean, he's not a face. He's just an anti-hero to me.
KO or
Yeah, KO. Because he has snake in his blood, so he'll definitely turn back one way or another. But like right now, I don't think it can get any bigger.
so with Seth and KO for the past 2 weeks really dominating airtime on Raw, is their storyline good enough to distract most fans from the fact that Becky and Brock are both not there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because one, Seth holds a win against Brock, which means he has it in him to go get the belt. Kevin Owens versus Brock needs to happen, and not just via Suplex City.
I don't think that needs to happen. I'd
Listen,
rather not see
fight-
Kevin Owens.
Fight Owens,
get
fight.
their ass beat.
Fight Owens, fight. That chant will come to its fullest potential versus Brock Lesnar, a Brock Lesnar ass whooping.
I'd rather see Kevin Owens fight like Keith Lee. That could kind of be a dope fight.
I love Keith Lee.
Speaking of people that had a great weekend at War Games and Survivor Series, Keith Lee got, unlike Rhea Ripley, he got that organic push.
Yeah, right.
He just got over.
He made Roman Reigns look strong.
He did a great job working with Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And well, let's get into it. Why not?
Also,
Let's talk Keith Lee.
He gave Adam Cole one of my favorite bumps of the past couple weeks.
Where was that?
hilarious.
I
Keith
heard
Lee?
somebody say he yeeted his ass.
Keith Lee did not take an L this weekend.
No, not at all. Yeah, man.
At all.
Keith Lee.
War Games match, he held it down. And in the spot with Roman at the end, he pinned Seth. Am I correct? He pinned Seth, right?
Yes.
Keith Lee?
Yeah, he pinned Seth.
And then he got a little taste of Roman real quick, and he's like, "Damn, I almost want to see Roman versus Keith Lee."
That looked really good. I gotta say that looked really good.
Listen,
And it's hard to get people into Roman Reigns sometimes, but that was a good finish to a Survivor Series.
NXT is definitely now building up the bigger heavyweights. You know, and I feel like that's going to help Roman Reigns' career long term because they're going to definitely need to be on the same card and in the same match as Roman Reigns moving forward because he's a real heavyweight.
Yeah.
You know, he's not the biggest dude, but he's one of the strongest dudes, quote unquote.
Yeah.
You know, Dean Ambrose always looked bigger than Seth Rollins. Looked bigger than Roman Reigns to me.
Yeah.
Keith Lee, Roman Reigns, I can't get his name right. Djokovic, did I say that right?
Dijakovic.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Djokovic.
Dominic
Him versus
Dijakovic.
Roman Reigns would be good.
Yes. Agreed.
They can go. They're some
both
big guys.
two big ass dudes. They're about 300 pounds.
Yeah, Dijakovic hasn't won me over yet, but I'm waiting for it. It's not that he's a bad wrestler.
I think he's a good wrestler that doesn't have the charisma that.
Yeah.
He's learning,
He's learning, but by comparison to Keith Lee, who he is either feuding with or tagging with, they got great chemistry together. But Keith Lee just is way
he
more
shines.
charismatic.
Yeah.
Keith Lee is.
And he's got a chant. You got to have a chant.
Keith Lee's not going to be on NXT long. Just to let y'all know that.
Bask in his glory.
Let y'all know There's dirt sheets running around. Vince loves Keith Lee.
So this is another. Did Keith Lee? Is he rapping on his intro? On his theme song? This is like another I always thought that it sounds like SCU is rapping on their theme song. I'm like, is Keith Lee rapping on his theme song too? That I hope
Probably.
I hope these people are rapping on their theme songs.
What?
Could Keith Lee join the New Day?
Keith Lee in the New Day? Oh, dude,
man.
Keith Lee could break up the New Day on some shit.
I'm about to say they had to turn him heel first.
I would love to. I'm not gonna lie,
Xavier
though.
Woods and Keith Lee versus Kofi and Big E for the tag titles.
I'm not gonna lie, I could see them doing a Keith Lee, John Moxley, Dean Ambrose style burial where he joins the New Day and just comes out in a little tiny bindi cap with the spinning wheel on the top. It's out on a unicycle. Come on, Keith. Hi, fellas. Wear suspenders and
Yeah, licking on a lolly, like an oversized lolly.
Dude, Vince McMahon just wants people to be licking on lollies for some reason lately. But speaking of the men's elimination match, Keith Lee and Roman Reigns at the finish. Roman Reigns getting the distinction of winning and being the sole survivor. And I gotta say, I think myself and the crowd, I think a lot of people were cool with it. And it's the first time in a while that I remember Roman Reigns getting that good of a reaction and a match being of a high enough quality where I think a lot of people were really pleased with the result, honestly. The Roman Reigns haters weren't out like they normally are.
He's no longer the most hated person on the roster.
Not at all.
Clearly, that's Baron Corbin.
I was gonna say it's Seth.
Seth or Baron. I can make an argument for either one of them.
People, you know, I don't think they hate Seth yet.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they didn't start turning him when they turned him,
Yeah.
like he probably wouldn't have made it to Royal Rumble without the Rollins sucks chance. Like I think they were definitely coming.
Oh, there were like Rollins sucks chants or Rollins isn't cool signs.
Oh yeah, Rollins isn't cool. I remember. Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? But I think that that's something I wanted to talk about is coming out of Survivor Series, especially they decided to pull this switch on this sort of heel turn for Rollins, but also like I was saying a couple of episodes ago. There's this almost dichotomy between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins where Seth is getting that old Roman heat, as they would call it, and Roman Reigns is getting over a little bit.
They can't both be over at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think...
They can't both be over at the same time.
This ain't the Shield, baby.
They can't both be over at
but
the same time.
So Roman is actually climbing back into the fans' esteem, you know? He won Survivor Series. He comes out on SmackDown the next week.
The situation was right, though, also, at Survivor Series. Like, one, it was a lot of baby faces in the ring, you know, and just how everybody was being eliminated. It kind of just worked out in his favor, you know, because it's like, damn, are they really going to, like, when Keith Lee pinned Seth Rollins, like, I know everybody was like, shit, he just pinned Seth Rollins. Like, damn, is NXT going to win this shit? Like, it was a spot of, like, intensity. Like, if you was a fan, I know you was pretty much probably, like, just standing up around the TV like, oh, shit. Like, oh,
and also because Roman in the past few months over the summer, if you remember, he was putting people over. He took a couple of L's. So watching it.
The job has been getting done in 2019.
Yeah, you were like, damn, maybe Keith Lee could win this shit. It made it more exciting. It wasn't a foregone conclusion.
If Keith Lee would have won that match, everything in NXT has to get rebooked.
I'd like to talk a little bit more about Roman Reigns because I am impressed with his. It's not a face turn, but the fact that he's actually been getting over. He's been getting accepted by the crowd. He does. Yeah.
Roman and
well, here's the thing. Nobody, if you're cutting a promo and you mention Thanksgiving
exactly
leftovers,
what I was going to say.
You're getting over, baby.
Exactly what I was going to say.
He came out, I was like, well, I want to, you know, it's no longer Thanksgiving, but, you know, in my house, if there's leftovers in the fridge, it's still Thanksgiving. I was like, fuck yeah! I love cold mashed potatoes, Roman! That guy, I even popped, you know? I'm a fucking dork, but, like, I'm sitting here watching, I'm just like, yeah, Roman, I fuck around with some stuffing. Make yourself a homemade gobbler. Shout out Wawa.
I know you, Keith. You were yelling at the TV. I'm gonna go get myself a drumstick right now. Fuck
Roman. I had to press pause.
My man was watching Roman Reigns promos like Dora the Explorer, yelling at the TV.
I was like, Roman, what do you think of Brussels sprouts? Roman got over big. Like he fought against a crowd chant. The crowd started going NXT, NXT. And he didn't let it fuck him up. He actually, on his feet, was just like, NXT is a great brand. They put together a great match. Keith Lee's a great wrestler. But you know what? That night was our night, and it was my night.
Yeah,
you know, just
no, it was great.
Like,
good job. You're right. You're right.
The only like little bit of corniness was when he was calling Baron Corbin dummy repeatedly because I guess he couldn't say anything nastier.
Jagov.
That guy's a real dummy. But what do you guys think about the crowd accepting Roman and how do you feel about Roman these days as well?
I feel like it was all Ambrose. It's the reason everybody hated Roman.
I mean, I don't know. I was feeling good about Roman Reigns and Thanksgiving leftovers as well. And I was definitely having a similar thought of like, this is weird. I'm not getting enraged right now. I don't want to change the channel. What's going on right now? It was very odd feeling.
Am I enjoying a Roman Reigns segment? Hey, shut the fuck up! Love you. Uh-oh, I'm in the doghouse. It's heel heat. Grayson said it.
She's bringing the pistol. He loves his wife.
Oh man! All right, where are we going from there?
I love you. I'm sorry. Oh, dude, I brought some heat on myself right now.
He cursed out the wife.
If any of our listeners have a couch I could crash on, might need to cash in that couch in the bank.
Couch in the bank.
Getting back to Seth Rollins a little bit and his relationship, his budding sort of will they, won't they with the AOP. I noticed something this week, gentlemen, that I wanted to talk about in WWE. On Raw, you have the Kabuki Warriors still going at it and speaking in Japanese while they feud with Charlotte Flair. You also have the AOP now starting to side with Seth Rollins and his house clearing over at Raw. Now they come out and talk to Charlie Caruso this past week's Raw, and they're both, not only are they not speaking English, but they both speak two different foreign languages. One of the AOP is Punjabi, and he's speaking Punjabi.
Okay.
And another one of the AOP is Albanian. He's like Kosovo Albanian. And so they're speaking Punjabi and Albanian. They're speaking two different languages at each other, and still the crowd in Alabama's like, but what?
Yeah.
Or Tennessee, excuse me. The crowd in Tennessee is just like thoroughly like enraged. Like somehow speaking a foreign language is still enough to get yourself a little bit of a heel heat establishment. So
I'm like, if anything, if WWE has taught me anything over the years, it's that.
yeah. But like they spoke, that's the thing that fucks me up. It's like, it's one thing if you're speaking one foreign language, like the Kabuki Warriors are like, okay, they're both speaking Japanese to each other. These two dudes are just speaking two different languages at each other, and nobody cares. They're just like,
just put them together. I can't understand either one of them.
And to top it off, we got Sami Zayn on SmackDown cutting a promo that I fucking loved. The New Day are in the ring talking about how great Thanksgiving and Black Friday is. Sami Zayn comes out with Shinsuke and with Cesaro, and he starts talking about how Thanksgiving is some colonialist bullshit and Black Friday represents all the evils of capitalism. And I always love it when I agree politically with the heels.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you're right, bro. Fuck Columbus. So the question there is this just a way, specifically with the Sami Zayn stuff, is this just a way to get heat for, against probably very conservative crowds? You're talking SmackDown was in Alabama, Raw was in Tennessee. Or do you think that WWE is trying to revitalize the anti-American foreign heel gimmick a little bit this year?
I think that they are definitely revitalizing that gimmick at least a little bit. I mean, we're seeing it in more than one show at this point. The other thing might just be, some old school wrestling stuff where you know where you are. Let's go play to the crowd a little bit. And I think Sami Zayn probably came up with this promo because he seems like a pretty thoughtful kind of guy.
Sami Zayn also a foreigner. Sami
Right,
Zayn
exactly.
Sami Zayn is a Quebecois.
Yeah, you never...
And also, I believe ethnic Syrian as well.
Right, which is why you're never going to see him at one of these Saudi shows.
Yes, yeah, that's some severe political, ideological lines in the sand.
Yeah, the more you know.
What do you think, Rod? What do you think of the foreign heel gimmick that they've been pushing with some of these cats?
I just think it's for heat.
Yeah?
The fact that nobody understands them, or there's probably a few people in the crowd who do understand them, or what they're actually saying. And it'd be funny if they were like really translating some very nice things like, you great people, thank you for coming out here and buying tickets, supporting the AOP. We thank you great. Just sounding like an asshole saying it or whatever.
That's what they said they were doing. I don't know. I didn't see a translation for either of what they said, but they said to Charlie, because Charlie's like, excuse me, fellas, I didn't understand what you're saying. And they start laughing and looking at her, and then they say, we just said you look great tonight.
Yeah.
Like we've been saying, it's like a classic way to get heat in wrestling. What are some of your favorite foreign heel factions or characters or anti-American heel characters?
Well, favorite foreign faction is the Bullet Club, LOL.
Yeah, that's real.
Gaijin, baby.
Yeah, the Foreign Fanatics, obviously. That's a big one. Back in the day, that's like the first one I think of, I guess, the Foreign Fanatics.
I'm trying to think of a good one.
What about the Hart Foundation?
Ooh,
definitely all Canadian.
that's true.
The Hart Foundation, they had the Canada versus America shit in 97. They
except
had
for
a
Brian
fucking
Pillman.
flag on a pole match.
Cleveland, Ohio.
You got again, we were talking about 93 Survivor Series. You got the classic Mr. Fuji and Yokozuna with all the other
Camp
foreign
Cornette
dudes.
was almost all foreign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Camp Cornette, Bulldog, Owen, Yoko, and I feel like I'm missing somebody.
Well, Vader?
Vader was
He might as well be
He's
Japanese.
Canadian, right? But yeah, regardless, he might as well be Japanese. You got the Quebecers.
Yeah, the Quebecers, you got PCO, you know what I mean? You got all sorts of shit. But the thing I loved most, my favorite was definitely the Hart Foundation. The thing I loved most about it is they were so fucking hated in America, and then as soon as they did a show in Canada or Britain, everybody's like, the Hart Foundation's the best!
Yeah, right.
Because they talk shit on America in a way that people that are critical of America actually would agree with, which is why the Sami Zayn promo I think works for me too, because he's not lying when he's saying that like that the origins of America are really fucked up and colonialism like Thanksgiving, but I appreciate the spirit of Thanksgiving as a time for reflection and actually giving thanks and praise to family
And grubbing.
the origins of talking about the pilgrims and the natives. That's about like some genocidal colonialism shit, you know, that's some serious shit. Black Friday, yeah, consumerism's fucked up, capitalism's fucked up. So I appreciate that they're bringing the reality. Same way back in the day, Bret Hart was like, you Americans, you're all ignorant. You don't even know who your representatives are. None of you have health care. You're all sneezing all over each other and you think that's a good idea.
Yeah, right.
You know, and then again, he talks all this shit and then they go do a show in Canada. They're the biggest faces you can imagine. So I always thought that was a pretty cool dichotomy.
Yeah.
Now, I guess my question is, with the current political climate being as polarized as it is and everything, does this sort of character, this foreigner heel or anti-American character, do you think it works in 2019?
Yeah.
I guess works, the question should be, it can't work for every fan, but like how does it work and who does it work for?
Not as hardcore, but you got to know like what foreign countries are offensive to the United States. And I feel like you probably couldn't put like an Arab dude, Arab heel, up there talking crazy, and I think people would take it a little bit too serious.
Yeah.
Versus, somebody like, AOP or the Kabuki Warriors who are just, probably chit-chatting in another language, just popping shit, and you're not thinking much of it. What successful Arab heels has there really been?
What's successful Arab wrestlers has there just been, period?
Well, there was that Italian guy who pretended to be Arab. Remember after 9/11? Oh, dude.
I do remember. Oh my god,
Muhammad Hassan.
Yeah,
Hassan and Davari. That went south real quick.
Yeah, that was awful.
Because again, they were towing the line.
No, that was
what's his name? Tiger Ali Singh.
Yeah, Tiger Ali Singh, and they had the Great Khali, right?
Yeah.
No, he's not Arab, I think, but whatever.
He's Indian. Yeah.
Well, so this is what I was gonna say is I would kind of.
That's why I say heel. Like I think Ali is over.
Right. No,
Totally.
Mustafa Ali's great. I was gonna kind of disagree with you, maybe for the same reasons. Like, and maybe this is just me being an asshole in my head or something. But like, I think if they were to make like Mansoor like a fucking heel. There might be some interesting stuff there. I kind of want to, maybe I'm just saying this because we all know it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
But heel Mansoor,
for those who might not be familiar, because not everybody watches the Saudi pay-per-view, but Mansoor is the Saudi wrestler who
he showed up once on a non-Saudi show.
He did? Okay.
Listen, I'm up here trying to remember who he was. That
yeah,
I think you said Mansoor.
No, Mansoor.
Like, dude that was in like full clothing with
Mansoor is the Saudi wrestler that signed to WWE.
That wins
I just feel like it'll be too racist to put him with Mustafa Ali.
But see, I would love to see Mansoor like feud with like some all-American type wrestler.
No. Here. Listen. Here's some lefty 2019 smart booking by Cold Keith. This is what I believe in. This is my shit right here. Let me lay it all on the line. You have Mansoor being a total acolyte of the Crown Prince, and then you have Ali saying, "Bro, I'm Muslim. That's not how we get down. You're a fucking asshole." And then they have a match like that. That's lit.
That's a great idea.
Or Mansoor pull up after Ali win and just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Just call him a sellout. Just call him a sellout. You sold the people out.
Yeah, we're about killing journalists.
Jeez, Mansoor feuding with Sami Zayn.
Oh my God! You remember when Kurt Angle, who was it? Kurt Angle brought out a milk truck.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And fucking
spraying milk everywhere.
And Steve Austin brought out a beer truck. What if Mansoor brings out an oil truck, bro?
Oh,
God damn.
I like it. I like
That's
it. I like
nasty.
You're going to get kicked off the internet.
I know, right?
I'm saying not because he's Arab, but because specifically
he's working for the Saudi.
He's working
prince.
for the Saudi Arabian government.
Yeah.
It's not because he's working for the Saudi government. That is a state-owned company. Some evil money going around, fellas. Mansoor, oh my God, the Crown Prince could come out and be like the Ted DiBiase with Mansoor as his lackey. Like, everybody's got a price.
No, but this is the thing. The Crown Prince ain't really trying to.
No.
He's not going to understand.
No.
He's not going to understand. He has to follow directions. Like,
No, not at all. Yeah.
he's going to be getting people knocked off.
People booing him and stuff. He's just like having people executed. Yeah.
Can I kill Roman Reigns? Why is he Russian? Speaking of some problematic shit, Lana and Lashley.
I'm over it.
I'm over it too, but I cut the promo last week on it, but I gotta say they got me back just with the group chat because we were talking about. So their Raw is in Tennessee. Rusev comes in and busts up a match between Lashley and Owens, and Rusev starts beating his ass, and they have a restraining order against him and all this other shit in the storyline. So the cops are by the ring. Rusev runs away through the crowd, and Lashley and Lana are like, guys, what are you doing? The cops, why aren't you helping us out? This is crazy. And so they get into it a little bit, and my man, they wrongfully arrested Lashley on TV in Tennessee.
Yeah, the police officers were just like, we do things different down here in Tennessee. And then they just like handcuffed, and I was like, "Wait a second, is this like a racial angle they're doing right now? That they're like,
is this the beginning of Mississippi Burning?
Right? And like that we're in the South now, and we're just gonna, you can't have a black guy dating a white woman or something like."
I mean, I've seen In the Heat of the Night. I'm just Sidney
Yeah,
Poitier. I'm saying Lashley put on a Poitier level performance. But for real, he Lashley bumped a cop with his shoulder, and they detective. Yeah, you want to break it down? You put your 2 cents in there, Rod.
You want to
he shoulder checked a detective.
I'm firm on my stance with the police. Fuck them. I don't run around antagonizing police. Not at all.
That's a good choice.
You bumped police officer. You better be ready to hand over your ass after that.
That's true.
And they walked you out.
Gonna be some consequences and repercussions.
They stomp you out. So it was kind of fair.
It was kind of fair.
I just realized one thing in Tennessee that they put their hands on women down there.
Yeah.
So they don't lock up every man, and that's. I'm not moving to the South. I don't want to live like that.
They got Lana.
I want to find me a wife.
So you got Lashley gets put in cuffs by the cops, and then Lana starts screaming at him. She slaps the cop across the face. Obviously, they put her in some cuffs, and they both get carted away. Feelings about this? This is, how you feeling about this spot? Did this actually pop you a little bit?
I personally hope they throw away the keys so we don't have to see any more of these fucking segments. I hope that they're just arrested. And they're just like, they're just gonna be in Tennessee for a while.
I gotta say, I did like the way they played like the racial aspect of Lana and Lashley as they, as a black man versus a privileged white woman interacting with the police. Because Lashley started breaking bad and immediately got thrown in cuffs, and then as soon as he did, he's like, all right, okay, cool, all right, no, all right, and plead the fifth, all right. And then Lana's like, what the fuck are you doing? Oh my God, that's my boyfriend right there. Like, he's like, baby, that is not how we're going to talk in this moment. We got to get through. You're going to call my friend Saul. We're going to get through this shit.
Oh, man.
What else? So, the Fiend versus Bray Wyatt. Or
No.
The Fiend versus Bray Wyatt.
Dun, 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 dun.
Now that would be an interesting match.
The Fiend. The Fiend
They could
versus...
probably pull that off.
Yeah, right.
Good.
Taker versus Taker have it.
It's true. The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan match, they are continuing their build. So they had a match at Survivor Series that I thought was pretty successful. Grayson, what were your thoughts? As we predicted, The Fiend won.
I'm a little bit over The Fiend. I like The Fiend video packages from time to time. I feel like that's kind of what The Fiend is video packages.
You gotta love the Muscle Man dance.
The Muscle Man dance and the lizards or whatever, was it the reptile people?
Remix.
That was all kind of chill. The Fiend is like old Undertaker. Like what? I don't know. Until we have like Kane or something to feud with him, somebody that makes some sense to that.
Aleister Black.
Aleister Black would be great. I would love to see that happen. Aleister Black hasn't really gotten a great push yet. No. Aleister Black is a good wrestler.
We've said it on the show. Well, that's the thing with The Fiend is he can't have a legit match in the sense that he, at this point, is an unstoppable monster. He's going to no-sell shit. He's going to get the win. His character is still building in that way. But I thought that Daniel Bryan gave him the best possible match within that context. He pulled out what Seth couldn't, which was a reasonably entertaining and up-and-down match against
Let's
the
not
Fiend.
say couldn't. Let's say didn't.
Didn't. Twice.
Because, Bray Wyatt, Daniel Bryan pretty much had the same match he had with Brock Lesnar last year at Survivor Series with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Cat and mouse, hit him and run. Don't get caught up. I'm still injury bound, so don't, kill me too much. He played it safe.
Yeah. But psychologically, though, psychologically in the ring, it was way more believable that Daniel Bryan, the other thing that sucked about Hell in a Cell, and go back to episode 1 if you want to listen to us bury that bullshit, was that Seth Rollins, I just didn't believe that fire in him till I'm going to kill the Fiend. I'm going to hit him with a fucking sledgehammer. Daniel Bryan, in a tame match where there were no weapons, looked way more intense and looked like he was really going to put it all on the line to stop the Fiend. I believed his passion in that
he's more
match.
battle tested than Seth, technically, I feel like.
I agree.
Oh, for sure.
But, you know what I mean? It's like we were talking about NXT earlier. His in-ring, the way he told the story with his movements and his eyes, I believe that Daniel Bryan was going to ice himself to beat the Fiend. I didn't get that from Seth.
That's true. He didn't really give it to us. I don't even feel like that match was even planned. It just was all right, well, fuck it. We're gonna do Seth.
Seth versus Seth and Bray won.
They're good enough. They can figure it out. But it needed way more thought than it did. But I feel like because of the unsuccess of that match, Daniel Bryan had actually a lot more to work with than Seth Rollins. Well, I can see what we're not going to do.
Yeah,
I'm not,
true.
I'm not going to oversell you in this sense, but I'll oversell you in that sense, and it just was
true.
No weapons, let's figure out how to make it work.
What is the biggest weakness of the Fiend character to both of you right now?
The fact that he can't just take a regular loss or be in a regular situation. You got to treat it with some sense of urgency.
Yeah, there's very few people you can really book a match with the Fiend. Since you can't really have the Fiend wrestle too often, you could almost just have the Fiend vignettes come on during WWE backstage, or give the Fiend his own damn TV show almost.
They got to take advantage of the YouTube.
Yeah, for real.
How they promote it. Because there's so much more that they can do to it.
Yeah, because what was it on SmackDown this past week? They had 3 different Firefly Funhouse segments. I don't know. I thought that was a little bit much.
And one of them was lit when they did the true story of the Thanksgiving about the reptilians and the muscle men. And him and the pig puppet did a 80s golden age hip hop style remix of the Muscle Man dance.
Yeah, that was kind of chill. The other 2 I could have kind of done without.
But again, I think part of that was just to confuse Daniel Bryan,
That's true.
Do you think that they booked the Daniel Bryan match for a rematch because he's probably the best opponent for him right now? They can kind of work through some stuff, perhaps?
Yeah, I feel like personally they just need to kind of bide some time with Bray Wyatt until they get to WrestleMania or whatever they actually have planned. So they might as well.
The long story. Long-term storytelling is what's going to pay out in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Bray Wyatt can't just be on TV, and unfortunately, he has the belt. How do all these people have the belt and not on TV?
Right.
Thought Here we go. This actually, I didn't write this down ahead of time. This ain't in my notes, so this is off the dome, Cold Keith here. What if, in order to preserve the Fiend and play up the aspect of the split personality, why don't they have matches where Bray Wyatt wrestles as Bray Wyatt? That would put him out there in the spotlight to be able to build programs in the ring, and then sort of like a Finn Balor Demon
That's what I was going to say. It
situation.
sounds like kind of Finn Balor and the Demon.
But you wouldn't want to push Bray Wyatt that much. You wouldn't want to put him out there too much. But in order to bring a balance, because that's part of the interesting thing about the balance in the Funhouse is part of the time he's Bray Wyatt, the fun-loving kids show host, and part of the time he's the fucking psychotic killer human being, like Hannibal Lecter Fiend, you know?
Yeah. So would only the Fiend have the belt? Or would it be both of them together?
Well, I mean, that's the interesting thing. I would say that they showed that the Fiend has a weird belt that looks like his face, the
that
Fiend
belt looks
mask.
stupid. But that's
Well,
another
in
thing.
theory, then you have Bray Wyatt has the blue belt and the Fiend has the weird face.
black
I
and
think
red.
I feel like he would have to drop the belt for that to work.
Yeah.
Like, you know, to come out lost. Like, I can't find the Fiend. You know, I'm just coming out as is.
Or if he does it in a way that they have him not losing the belt, like DQ situations or non-title matches. But I get your point. So Daniel Bryan, his opponent, comes out and cuts a promo and sort of starts to, you know, have his ultimate face turn that's been being quote-unquote teased. It's kind of been a long time coming, but the Yes Movement is coming back.
Welcome home.
Yes. 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 Is the Yes Movement back?
Yes.
Of course. Yeah, there was a kid at AEW Dynamite yesterday. I think it was the kid that got the $100 from Cody, actually. But he was, I don't remember what match it was, but he's in the background going, yes, 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 at one point in time. And I was like, oh, this kid. And then he got $100.
So now
Yeah, no, right?
Why do you guys think that the quote new Daniel Bryan, the eco-terrorist heel Daniel Bryan, had run its course? Do you think it was a good decision to transition him back to face?
It was time.
Yeah.
Look, let me see. He headlined WrestleMania with Kofi.
Yeah.
One of the headliners, I guess. I mean, how long was we going to run that Daniel Bryan out? I feel like he got lost in translation with Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And Luke, not Harper, Rowan.
Yeah.
Like, that shit just, like, what happened
dude.
there? Like, I didn't mind it. Like, they were tag champions. I feel like they were just, like, the worst transitional champions ever.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't really...
And if you think of the Fiend as a heel, even though he is over with the crowd and is technically sort of like an anti-hero face, essentially, SmackDown is sort of loaded up with a lot of heel characters, and his place didn't seem to make a lot of sense. And SmackDown, if you have a Yes Movement Daniel Bryan and an increasingly actually beloved and over Roman Reigns, that sets you up for two good face characters to kind of carry the company a little bit. And now, here's something I saw online. I'm curious to get your guys' perspective on this. I saw a conspiracy theory about the Fiend where he wears those two gloves that say hurt and heal. And there's a conspiracy. Now, I didn't verify this portion of it, but when he gives the mandible claw, he's a switch hitter. And meaning he'll either give you the mandible claw with the right or the left hand. And what I saw online is somebody was saying when he put the claw on Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, he gave him the hurt hand. And when he gave it to Daniel Bryan at Survivor Series, he gave him the heel hand.
Ooh.
So
H-E-A-L.
H-E-A-L.
Right.
So the idea being... So this conspiracy theory, this some next level like conspiracy theory thinking about wrestling, they booked it in a way where depending on how the Fiend puts you away, you're going to turn either face or heel.
Right.
I thought that was super interesting. It's crazy bullshit.
It's like some very like comic book booking. I don't think that WWE would...
They certainly wouldn't mention it on the mic.
yeah.
Extremely in-depth.
Yeah, I don't think WWE would put nearly that much forethought into something. Maybe Daniel Bryan put that... Not Daniel Bryan. Bray Wyatt put that much thought into it, and he's doing that on his own because that's like second level character building on his part, you know. But I seriously doubt that like Vince or whoever was like, oh man, I got this great idea. They're like...
Vince would never say it.
No.
But I thought it was an interesting theory.
That is a cool theory.
Because he no doubt, everybody that he's had a program with, he's flipped them.
Yeah.
They've turned after their match or their program.
It's interesting.
That'll be nice, like over a year to like look back and
See if
actually
that keeps
see
happening.
it. Yeah, see if that's what happened.
Turning WWE into an episode of Lost.
Exactly. Well, does anybody have any idea? At the end of SmackDown, Daniel Bryan accepts the rematch challenge from The Fiend, and then The Fiend pops up from the ring, takes Daniel Bryan down to hell.
He rips his pubes out.
He starts taking out his pubes.
Yo.
It's just, what the fuck is going on?
Did he shave the beard?
That's what I don't know why, and
It
I don't know
shaved
how.
something. I just loved it.
He started
it just looked
pulling
like
out
he was
his
just coming
hair.
out like handfuls of
Get
pubes.
Beanie
Just
Bryan
like
on Friday.
handfuls of pubes.
Come on, a beanie.
plucked him bare.
But what do you think? What the fuck? Give me a prediction, because we're recording this on a Thursday. Obviously,
saying
if they don't address it tomorrow night, I'm done.
He lost the beard. I'm saying he's dropping the beard.
Yeah, babyface Bryant.
You think? Yeah, you think babyface
dropped the
him?
beard.
You think Brie was like, "Baby, I like you without the beard."
It was time. That was a Brie Bella call
Bella.
on the beard. It was time for it to go. Hey Bray, what if you take his beard off? Shit! Were they doing that like in reference to? Oh no, I guess they've been cutting hair for a few weeks now.
The
Nightmare Collective.
Oh God, we're gonna get to that. And with that note, we're going to talk a little bit about AEW. And yeah, let's start it off with a disappointing note real quick. The payoff for Brandy Rhodes and Awesome Kong, not a great payoff.
Yeah.
If we could call it a payoff.
Yeah. The
What happened? What happened,
building.
gentlemen?
They're building their stable for whatever reason.
So this is kind of my question. Like, okay, so what happened? There was a fight between Hikaru Shida and
Chris Statlander?
Chris Statlander, exactly. And Statlander is debuting this new gimmick. She's like an alien. She's booping people on the forehead. She's doing weird stuff. Her makeup and
ET
stuff looks
boop.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like her gear was looking real good.
Speaking of good gear, when Brandy comes out, she's looking...
Well, just hold your. Well, no, don't hold it. So
I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to move it back and forth.
oh Lord. All right. So
Yo, pause. That's a man's wife. Brandy
Yeah.
Rhodes.
Yeah,
She's got good
for real.
gear. Just saying.
yeah,
Good tasting.
Do you
gear.
love your wife?
I love my wife,
All right.
and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Man.
So they have a
Brandy Rhodes knows her way around some gears.
they have a great match. Statlander and Hikaru Shida. One of the better women's matches I've seen on AEW Dynamite, maybe the best. And Statlander beats Hikaru Shida, who's the number one contender or number one seed, whatever you want to call it. Then Brandy comes out, right?
With Awesome Kong.
Awesome Kong. And she cuts like a really bad promo and asks Chris Statlander to join her.
What does she say in the promo?
Lord, she says that they're the Nightmare Collective, and they're here to do the dirty jobs that nobody else wants to do, whatever the fuck that means.
Judging by that gear, I got a couple ideas.
And so I don't know, you just kind of gimmick a promo that felt very Dark Order-y.
Yeah, it was. They're building it as like a cult where they're taking people's hair, like sort of like Rod said. What'd you say, Rod, about the whole build?
CM Punk and they take a CM Punk gimmick.
They did. Yeah, they basically made it like the straight edge society where you got to pledge your loyalty and shave your head. But CM Punk's gimmick made sense because it was about like, straight edge. We don't do drugs. We're super punk. We'll shave our heads and we'll all be sort of like this militant clique around CM Punk, who was like a, straight edge Jesus. Like it's almost a combination. CM Punk's gimmick was like that. Plus he was like Seth Rollins now. He was like, you don't respect me. I'm doing the right things and nobody believes in me. But yeah, so they came out, they collected some hair and just left more questions than anything else. I thought like, I wanted there to be more of a payoff as to why they're collecting hair. I wanted to know how those two particularly got together, what their goal was, like,
Right.
and it was just more confusing than it was helpful.
And then, and I was talking to Keith about this before, like, the people they've taken hair from, have they shown back up again? That I can recall, I don't know if any of the people they've taken hair from have shown back up, at least not in any sort of a meaningful way.
Well,
like,
Allie's now the bunny.
That's true. Like, you would think that people would want to feud with her or them after they got their hair cut, you know, for no reason or whatever, and, like, there's been no fallout to any of this stuff so far. Like, once she cuts your hair, are you a part of the group now? Has she stolen your soul? Like, what?
Yeah, I kind of don't understand if there's some sort of magic or space witchcraft around it or some shit. I don't really know what the hell they're doing.
And then a woman from the audience starts fangirling and is like, oh, I'm a big fan. I really want to pledge my loyalty to the Nightmare Collective.
Yes, that is correct.
And that happened too.
So we got from one collective or group or faction that didn't make any fucking sense to one that I'm really enjoying the build for. We got the Dark Order vignettes. There was another vignette for the Dark Order.
I think we've been seeing the same guy for the past couple weeks on these. I think it's the same guy, or maybe it's just always some random schlubby looking white guy. And I'm just, I don't know, mixing them all together in my head. But yeah, he was like, you know, being an angry blogger or whatever on getting his Twitter fingers on, spewing some hate talk. He was probably talking about like Captain Marvel or some crap like that. And then
It's a woman and a trans person. I hate all that. I'm
so-
an angry white man with a keyboard.
Yeah, so then, I don't know, it shows them at a meeting, and it's kind of like Fight Clubby a little bit, where they're like, oh, why did you come here? And some dude, I don't know, I guess it's this guy.
Evil Uno is like, why'd you come here? And the one guy who's typing some real nasty shit online says, I came here for revenge. And he's like, all right, cool. You get one of these masks.
Yeah.
And they all just become the creepy guys. What are they called? The creepers.
Creepers.
Yeah. And then the other dude just comes in and they're like, why did you come here? And he's just like, I just want friends. And they're like, let me poke you in the eye.
Yeah, then the creepers creeped
They just
creeped all over
tackle
him.
his ass
They
and
were
poke him in the eye.
creeping
And
really hard all
tickle
over his face. Yeah.
So that was corny. But the general build of the video package I thought was great because, again, if we're going to, you know, just to retread lightly, talking about how WWE has like this sort of tone-deaf politics and shit, like when it comes to foreign heel shit or what they could be doing with stuff of Mansoor, yada yada, I thought that this was a really timely sort of way to build this faction's identity because basically the Dark Order is a group of radicalized like men's rights activists and white supremacist fucking.
It's kind of what it feels like.
No, it's just a bunch of fucking schlubby white dudes that are, you know, on the internet. They're a bunch of red pillars.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of fucking red pill shit on the internet. And I thought that was so amazing that it's just like, do you hate everyone? Do you resent your family and women? Do you join the Dark Order?
Yeah.
And,
Do you feel some type of way about your position in life all of a sudden diminishing? Like,
yeah. No, for real.
Yeah.
They sold that to the moon for me. When the Dark Order debuted, I was like, the dude in a mask and a dude with makeup. I didn't, unlike Grayson, I didn't know about their PWG history. And I was like, these guys can go in the ring. I like the match, but what the fuck is this?
Yeah, the gimmick didn't make any sense. It really,
And
it
I
didn't.
feel like now it makes more sense than anything else in AEW.
It's definitely up there now.
In general, I've been enjoying AEW recently. One thing that confused the fuck out of me the other week was the debut against Cody of the Butcher and the Blade.
And the bunny.
Yeah,
And the Bunny.
the
Again,
butcher,
the
the
Bunny.
baker, and the candlestick maker.
I'm
yeah.
just going to say, again, the Bunny. Great gear. Excellent gear.
Excellent. You love your wife?
I love my wife.
Making sure.
Great gear. But you know, on a different level, on a different note, Butcher and the Blade, they got a cool look too, man. Like they came out, no one knew who the fuck they were, myself included.
Mm-hmm.
I had to Google a lot of shit after that because I was like, okay, I know who Allie is. Who are these like goons in
Yeah.
like leather aprons?
When the Butcher first came out, I was like, wait, is that Silas Young? And I was like, wait, no, that's definitely not Silas Young. But yeah, no,
They had to put it through. They put it in cold. They fucking brought them out cold, and that audience just did not know what the fuck to react.
I thought the funniest thing about the whole thing was like Excalibur. Excalibur was like, oh, it's the Blade. Oh, it's the Butcher.
The Butcher and the Blade.
And then JR was like, what the fuck are you talking about? JR was like, who? He's like, the Butcher and the Blade. Oh, and now it's the Bunny. And JR was like, what? What?
Yo, I love how real JR is. It's just like he just showed up, no pre-production, just doing it.
What the fuck?
But yo, Butcher and the Blade, I will say the debut was a little rocky, but honestly, I think the look is really cool. They're like weird steampunk, villainous looking people. Mm-hmm. And so here's my thing. I was going to ask you guys who you think they're working for, but because to me it seemed like some Marty shit. They look like they would fit in great with some villain enterprises.
That was definitely what I was initially thinking as well.
Yeah.
But then Rod came with that new heat when he showed up today.
Yes.
Had that MJF promo
hired by MJF
that just dropped. And yeah, MJF said that he had hired the Butcher, the Blade, and
The Bunny.
The 3 Bs.
But, yeah, I mean...
Big baller brand, yeah.
Big baller brand. Lonzo, my man. My man, Daddy Ball.
LeVar.
Big Daddy... LeVar. Big Daddy Ball.
Big Daddy Balls.
But, speaking of bald dudes with mustaches, the Butcher got a sweet tash, that guy. So the Butcher and the Blade, they're both dudes wearing long leather apron jacket shit. Sort of Drew McIntyre and Jace. And the Blade's got a weird gimp mask on, and the Butcher has got a monocle and a thick-ass Victorian-style, like, old-school mustache. He looks like if Colonel Mustard was a bouncer. You know what I mean? He looks like if the Monopoly Man was just gonna fuck you up in a dark alley. You know what I mean?
That's pretty accurate.
But it made me think about all the great tashes in wrestling and the history of the mustache as a wrestling accoutrement. And it made me think perhaps we need a segment called The Best Tash in the Biz. Oh, I'm a tash man. Bow, bow. Yeah, I'm a tash man. Bow, bow.
Blackjack Bradshaw from the new Blackjacks of like 1995.
Best stash.
JBL.
Best
stash. Best stash.
What stash you got? Who you got? We're talking best overall. I guess we're going historic. We're going throwback stash first.
How about like the Iron Sheik?
Ooh,
Iron Sheik had a classic good one.
Iron Sheik had a good stash. How about my man Sergeant Slaughter with the U.S. military? That shit was legit, man. That's the. Yeah, my man Sergeant Slaughter had the mustache that was approved of by the U.S. military. It met all the height and length requirements. Old Scott Hall. Ooh,
80s.
Damn. Yo, old 80s.
Like porn star Scott Hall. Like,
yeah, man. What about more recently? Who you got top 3 in the biz right now?
I was gonna throw out another one. Rick Steiner used to have a pretty good
It's all about the handle.
But it's the beard. His beard made his stash.
Yeah. But he had the stash of it was like a handlebar type, real bushy handlebar.
Early aughts. What about H? What about my man Triple H?
Triple H.
He had the Von Bismarck, the connecting stash.
The John
Otto Von Bismarck stash.
That bullhorn in Black Dynamite had. Yeah.
Now that's a tash. Ooh, I'm a tash man.
Bow.
I love to pick 'em.
What other tashes we got right now? Silas Young.
Talking
great
about him
tash
earlier.
Ooh. I was gonna say Bobby Fish.
Bobby Fish.
Talking
Bobby's Bobby Roode tash.
Oh, Rude has a good one too.
Because I know Vince was like, Bobby, listen, you got a beard, you're not getting pushed. Shave that shit to a stash. I'll compare you to Rick Rude. I'll get you a push. It's a tash-based push.
And our
boy Rusev, man.
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
Just because we don't want to think about that Lana Lashley Rusev bullshit, his tash is fucking nasty. Rusev's tash looks like fucking Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, he does look very Freddie Mercury-esque. Yeah, he and Emi Sakura.
He's like a swole Freddie Mercury. Well, I
guess that's my other favorite Tash, Emi Sakura. Her Tash when she comes out. Yep, she should wrestle with it.
Emi Sakura with the Tash. So, I'm saying that was the best Tash in the biz. Next time there's a notable Tash, let us know. Maybe we'll run down some more Tashes for you.
Got that Tash for that ass.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Bow, bow. Anyway, but getting back to business, now we could talk a little bit about our boy Chris Jericho constantly reinventing himself. This time he's got, actually, how about I phrase it this way? Our boy Chris Jericho rehashing the past in a fresh way. So he went back to the well for a couple of WWE recent classics, and they had the Inner Circle and Chris Jericho having an appreciation celebration a la the Festival of Friendship.
Mm-hmm. They brought out some presents. They had Soul Train Jones was emceeing it, right?
Yep.
That was a nice little moment. Sammy Guevara got him a very lovely gift.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cardboard cutout of those two hugging.
Yep.
Getting
which
cute.
became a meme very quickly.
Of course. Jericho, there was a really big box, and I think a lot of people were expecting maybe MJF or something to be in that big box, but it wasn't. It was Jericho's father. Jericho's father came out wearing a New York Rangers jersey and proceeded to, do the old, this town sucks, only
Chicago's for jerk-offs. When I played hockey for the Rangers, we used to beat Chicago.
Yeah, right, exactly. And they were all a bunch of pussies. Yeah, it's like basically what he said.
They couldn't grow a tash worth of shit.
Yeah. And so that was fine.
Well, you're also forgetting the shout out to all of our Latin listeners out there. You're forgetting that Proud and Powerful Proud and Powerful gave him some fucking flip flops that you could also use as a weapon.
Yeah. That was. And
That
a
was clutch.
40 in a paper bag. I'm trying to think of what else they gave him. They gave him some super stereotypical shit. I don't remember what else, but it was cute.
Oh, you do remember because Jake Hager came out with a goat that he named Chris Jericho.
Man, I'm forgetting all this stuff.
I wonder if that goat was supposed to come to the ring.
Oh yeah, that goat seemed scared as hell. That goat wanted no parts of walking to the ring.
AEW, I love basically everything you're doing. You gotta stop having live animals in this shit. Between Pharaoh and the goat and whatever else, don't bring out a bird that's gonna start pecking somebody's eyes out.
No more live animals.
That's unpredictable, bro. You don't want any part of that lawsuit.
It's just too many things and too loud. It's not a good idea.
And then this week, Chris Jericho brought back the list, but no, it wasn't the list. It was the lexicon of Le Champion.
Yeah, I personally liked this more. Now, my favorite Jericho gimmick is probably the moves when he was going against, was it D. Malenko?
Oh, yeah, and he just, said, 800 different holds.
Armbar.
Yeah, he said armbar 3 or 4 times, which, again, going back to this one, he said Moxley 10 times on this list.
It was great. So this list was the list of, first of all, used lexicon wrong, and Excalibur points that out, and then JR says, I dare you to tell him otherwise.
Wait, speaking of JR, actually, I'd like to say this is maybe the best commentary night for JR, I feel on Dynamite so far, for me personally. I thought JR actually did a pretty good job yesterday.
Yeah. He did. I feel like he
I
honestly,
noticed. I don't know. It was I don't know. It felt
I feel like he normally does pretty good, but it's just harder for him at this. It's a 3-man booth, and it's harder for him at this stage in his career. He and Tony have great chemistry, and you could tell that he likes working with Excalibur, but he's not as quick as he used to be.
Right.
But yeah, JR did a good job putting this list thing over, and basically it was a list of people he will not fight for the championship in 2019. Moxley, the Young Bucks, Uncle Buck, Buck Owens, Moxley. He said Adam Page, Diamond Dallas Page, and Moxley. He said Kenny Omega, Kenny Ortega, Kenny Chesney, Kenny from South Park, Moxley. I was fucking dying.
Oh yeah, I was dying too. That was so good. And you had what was it? Scorpio Sky, Too Cold Scorpio. Anybody in the Scorpions, like
Moxley. But yeah, and so obviously, at the end of the show, Moxley goes over Joey Janela. Jericho comes out through the crowd, and, the previous week, Moxley came out to taunt Jericho. They're clearly building at some point in the future long-term booking for a little Moxley Jericho. What are your thoughts?
I was going to say, though, I like what they did here, though. What ended up happening with the Jurassic Express music hits, and everybody's like, oh, whoa, like him versus... Luchasaurus. I think that was what everybody's thinking. And then Jericho says, no, I'm not fighting any dinosaurs. I'm not fighting any children to Marco. And then it was against Jungle Boy. And I'm like, oh, that's a great match, actually. I think Jericho versus Jungle Boy, like, Jungle Boy kind of reminds me a little bit of young Jericho in terms of his moveset and his look even a little bit. I mean, Jericho's bigger. Yeah. But, like, I get similar vibes. I think this should be a great match. Heel baby face, like, oh, it's perfect. It's perfect.
I'm vibing with it. What do you guys think of the Mox Jericho, though?
It just continues to show me how thin that roster is.
Is Moxley the guy to take the belt off Jericho for the first time here? Because they're pushing Moxley like he can't be beat.
I think Moxley is definitely I think Mox might be the most over with the crowd right now, for me personally.
I'm not, like, the hugest Moxley fan, so I don't just, like, mark out for him how people do, but it's just like...
I'm a big Moxley guy.
I guess. Chris Jericho can't just lose to anybody. Yeah, I mean, Kenny don't want the belt, it seems like. Cody can't get the belt. MJF's a heel right now, so, I mean, it only makes sense for them to start passing it around that way. Yeah. Like, Moxley...
He's a good worker, and also, we were talking about size and shit earlier, and on the previous thing. He's like, by AEW standards, Moxley's big as shit.
He's pretty big.
He's a tough guy. He's been proven to be able to, take
that's how Cody would get the belt. Like, Moxley would probably, like, offer him a title shot.
Something like
he's
that.
Back in it.
See, AEW Mox hasn't, like, wowed me or won me over. I think he's been fine. Yeah. I mean, really, again... The New Japan run that he had for the G1 is when I was like, oh man, this guy is like... is it. Like, it was so good.
I like AEW Moxley because he's basically, if you let him do the Dean Ambrose character how I wanted to fucking do it. Like, he's funny, and he can come off as, like, charming and have the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand, but he could also do some dastardly shit, and it's on his terms. It's not corny. Like, Joey Janela was cutting a fucking promo against him and just talking all sorts of shit about, like, you're gonna have to kill me, Moxley. Shit, yeah. And then he just stands up and walks up to him, intimidates him, and then Joey Janela shuts up, and the guy's like, what do you think, Moxley? And puts the microphone in and goes, kids.
And just walks away. Yeah. The other thing I was gonna bring up was Cody. Yeah. Cody cut a great promo. He got a little dig in there.
On my boy Punishment Martinez. AKA Damian Priest.
Yeah, I hate Damian Priest, first of all. And I didn't like Punishment Martinez either. And now that you're saying that, it's connecting in my head. Who the fuck this asshole is? Oh, I hated Punishment Martinez, and I don't like Damian Priest. Oh my gosh, that's so corny.
That's what WWE does, though. Oh, they take a guy.
I will say this: WWE tried to get him over this week.
Yeah, they did.
No, he's bad. He's just boring.
I mean, I don't like him.
I don't dislike him either. I don't feel like Grayson does.
I feel like he's somebody that I'm just expecting to, like, shoot fire out his hands.
Yeah. Maybe if that was his gimmick.
I like that his voice is like this.
Yeah. Maybe if his gimmick was going for, like, a more like Chris Angel mind freak type,
this is my shoot voice, Grayson. Why don't you like me in the ring?
And creepy, and I shoot fire out of my butt. Like, sure.
Do you have a problem that I have such large balls that I keep them down by my shoes?
No, I have a problem with the fact that you're big for nothing and you put on mediocre matches.
Say that to my testosterone supplement collection.
They put him on Team NXT.
Damian Priest.
He's got a great look.
Wrapping up the show, I wanted to touch a little bit on the Wednesday Night War, where we feel like we're all at between NXT and AEW. We were talking about it a little earlier.
AEW owes me some more.
Yeah.
Like, that quarterly pay-per-view shit, they need to cut that shit down to 6 weeks tops. Like, every 3 months ain't gonna, like, it's not going to successfully move your storyline.
Well,
long term.
yeah.
Like,
and you're not going to make any money off of it either.
Yeah, like who wants to watch that? Like, watch a storyline play out for 3 months without. I mean, I'm pretty sure we do it with WWE, but at least they attempt to fuck it up once a month.
They attempt to do a blow off. They don't, but you're correct. That's the assumption.
Cody, they can like play back down all they want all of a sudden, but like, yeah, when you were out here smashing thrones at the beginning of matches and shit, making it known that you was coming to play. I want to be entertained. Like, not that I'm not entertained, but it's just like, okay, the opposition has put their foot on the gas, and I would like for y'all to return fire, please. Like, I haven't felt like, oh shit, like damn, that AEW, like no, I feel like I'm just getting one show once a week again, and that's all that's to it. And I feel like WWE is outplaying them just because of the fact that they got 3 different shows running right now.
That's true.
And it's just like, I just want a little bit more in the show. Like, all right, y'all got 2 hours. Like, I don't like that Kenny is not getting put over. I hate that he's losing everybody. I hate that he's like in this vulnerable state of wrestling. I guess on screen, not in real life. But it's just like, I want to root for them. And I feel like I'm just not rooting for AEW. I feel like I'm rooting for like a new WWE show. Because it's Moxley and Jericho and Jack Swagger and those guys. It's just like, come on, that's not who I want to see. I want to see y'all. Y'all got y'all got everything aligned. Like, let's make the shit start happening now. But
last week I thought AEW I thought Dynamite wasn't great. I thought this week was a return to form. I actually personally like Dynamite this week more than NXT. I feel like NXT this week is kind of having maybe some of the issues that I thought Dynamite was having last week, and that NXT kind of felt like the same episode as last week to me.
I think they're just...
And I felt the same way about AEW last week and the week before.
They just have a little bit of a slow burn with the post-War Games storyline.
Yeah, but so I guess I watch... Again, I kind of watch them for different things. NXT will give you consistently, like, pretty good wrestling, if not great wrestling, on a week-to-week basis. I feel like AEW's giving you kind of more promos and more of that, like, surprise or wow factor. Like, you never know what's going to happen on AEW because it's not WWE. Like, you never know if somebody could show up or...
Like the Butcher and the Blade.
right. Or, you get some unscripted moments with promos or, like...
The list was so 2016. This is the lexicon.
Right. We just don't know what really to expect. At least I feel like I don't know. Yeah. I feel like there's more of a mystery or a surprise factor, the unknown factor.
It is still new. It's only like 2 months old.
But I guess if you want to give them that pass.
I mean, not as necessarily as a pass. It's just that's kind of what AEW is doing for me personally. Like that it's given me the unknown factor of like every week I'm like, ooh, what are they gonna do? Whereas like usually when I watch NXT, I kind of know what they're gonna do. They're gonna have a bunch of like pretty good matches and not a lot else, which is good. I mean, it's good that there's a WWE show that has that because for most of my life, I don't say for most of my life, but like I don't know, the past
decade,
10 years, right? Exactly. Like there wasn't a lot of that. There wasn't a lot of wrestling. There wasn't a lot of good wrestling happening.
I kind of agree with Grayson in the sense that I feel fairly similarly that I do get something different from both shows. I like NXT, like Grayson said. I appreciate the pure wrestling of it, and I do like the storylines that they book and how they move compared to the other WWE brands. But I like AEW because, like I said on a previous show, I think AEW has the best sports entertainment right now. Like I fucking love all the shit that they do with Jericho. I like the promos that Cody's cutting. I like the promos that MJF cuts. I like the way they're building the Dark Order. If they didn't fuck up with the Nightmare Collective, that could have been a good idea. Like they're trying new things, and most of the time, I'm actually really interested in it from a pure storyline perspective. Some of the matches are okay. NXT has better wrestling at the moment. I don't think we can argue that, really.
I'd say at the very least, I think NXT is more consistent.
So I agree with Grayson. I get something different from both shows. I like them both. As a fan, I think it's, sort of a hacky thing to say in like wrestling media at the moment, but the fans are the ones who win. But it's true. You get more wrestling, and you get two shows that I think are consistently bringing you something a little more dynamic than Raw or SmackDown. Wednesday night is the night that has the best wrestling. But to put a cap in a little bit as far as the financials and the sort of business end of the Wednesday Night Wars, gentlemen, I was looking at some of the ratings recently, and as we discussed last time, I believe NXT won the ratings war against AEW going into Survivor Series and War Games. And that makes a lot of sense because those pay-per-views were building to be amazing. And then those pay-per-views delivered. And so the following week, NXT won again too. So they've won 2 weeks in a row. But it's interesting because the tail of the tape with the numbers is a little deceiving because... If you want to make the argument for AEW, you can say that, well, they won because they're going into and coming out of a fucking amazing pay-per-view. But if you want to make the argument for NXT, you say, well, they won because they're going into and coming out of a fucking amazing pay-per-view. And the other thing to say is that AEW is winning the 18 to 35 demographic even when they're losing. So advertisers, TNT, the network is a little bit more invested in them at the moment.
I did watch the endings yesterday, like simultaneously.
Yeah.
WWE goes off later, like it used to back in the day.
Yeah, it has like a 5-minute runoff or whatever.
And that's going to be the difference.
It's huge.
A lot.
It's a huge deal.
After I watched the AEW finish, it just was like, yo, there was like 6-7 minutes of NXT still on and Keith Lee finish. Like,
yeah. I saw that on the week, man, it might have been week 1 or 2 of AEW. I was like, man, this AEW show's amazing. I watched AEW all the way through. I switched over to NXT, and they had Undisputed Era versus Street Profits, and I was like, oh, fuck, this is amazing pro wrestling.
So, I was going to say, from looking up the ratings, oh, man, this is crazy. NXT drew an average viewership of 845,000, and it's up 4.3% from last week. AEW had 851,000.
Ooh. Up 2,000 from last week.
Up 28.3%. So they literally beat them by 6,000 viewers yesterday. AEW beat NXT. This is very freaking close.
That's neck and neck. And I think that shows that a lot of... Honestly, Grayson, I think that shows that a lot of wrestling fans are thinking like you and me in the sense that it's fairly even race at the moment. And also, I think it shows, to Rodney's point, because NXT... Nobody's behind.
They're just very different products to me. They're so freaking different.
But to what Rodney was saying, I think the way they built going into War Games, the way they've been putting the foot to the gas, the way Triple H has been putting the pressure on AEW, the competition's been making them better. They've rose to the occasion, and now... They were getting beat every week by AEW, and now it's neck and neck. So it'll be interesting to see how this evolves. Again, as corny as it is to say, at the end of the day, if you like wrestling, you're winning because there's just more good wrestling content out there. All right, fellas. So we're going to be signing off in a minute. Anybody want to plug anything or talk about a happy Christmas season? Or, excuse me, happy holidays.
Yeah, man.
Fuck Chris. No, happy holidays. I wish everyone a successful Hanukkah, which begins on December 22nd. I looked it up, so...
Well done.
Enjoy socks.
People's Pipe Bomb 2020.
What do I got to say?
What are we looking forward to with the holiday season, gentlemen?
Well, there's a couple things I'm looking forward to. Somebody go before me, maybe.
What you got going on this holiday season, Rod? What you doing?
I'll be working as much as possible. As much as possible.
Yeah, man. Scrooge McDuck. Stack that coin, man. Fuck them.
Trying to cop a new camera. Maybe we get some video popping around this motherfucker.
Ooh, get my ugly ass mug. I didn't even shower today, bro. You don't want me on the video.
Looking
hair
very
is doing
Daniel Bryan-ish today.
I'm looking super Daniel Bryan. I'm looking like if Daniel Bryan and Ted Kaczynski had like a fucking tag team, I'd be their manager.
Yeah, what I'm looking forward to is January 4th and January 5th, Wrestle Kingdom.
Woo!
That's what I'm looking forward to. I guess it's right after the holidays.
Facts.
But yeah, That's what I'm looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to AEW and NXT on Christmas this year. Ooh. December 25th is a Wednesday.
No, I don't think they're having a show.
What?
Because Jericho's promo, they said that that he was contractually obligated to wrestle one more time before the end of the year, and I think that they were saying.
I think he said one more title match.
Yeah, one more title match before the end of the year, but I think they were saying that. Is it next week? Is the last
18th, whenever the 18th.
I think they're saying that that's the last Dynamite of the year. I think so they said
not
that.
Next Wednesday, but the following.
Yeah, I guess I think they were saying that that's the last Dynamite of the year.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, but that sucks. Well, that's also an interesting thing because that points out that AEW is more concerned with
their wrestlers'
well-being and wanting to take off. Whereas
Vince, get the fuck out there! I want to see John Cena and Elias suck each other's dick on stage
on Christmas. All right, supposed to be wrestling on Christmas Day.
I was about to say
wrestle
on
New Year's
Christmas.
Day.
You would be competing with the NBA, which I doubt AEW is trying to do that because TNT.
But
true, they can't do that.
It's a great alternative to watching some wrestling on Christmas Day. It's nothing like it.
Well, that's true. Wrestling on Christmas Day is lovely.
Survivor Series used to come on Thanksgiving Day. It used to be special.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just going to say there was a Raw and SmackDown because it's Wednesday. The past 2 years, Christmas, there was Raw and then SmackDown on Christmas Day, and I watched both of them. They were very enjoyable. Mm-hmm. I enjoy a little holiday WWE. And we'll see if they have a little tree at Full Sail. Maybe Adam Cole fucking Panama Sunrises a dude onto a Christmas tree. You never know. So next, we're going to do a little bit of our classic WrestleMedia segment, and this is WrestleMedia.
This segment is called WrestleMedia.
So my WrestleMedia this week is a little something that was cooking up on the Twitterverse between one Thick Mama Pump and the artist formerly known as the Sandman.
You talking about Jordan Grace?
I'm talking about Jordan Grace.
Oh my gosh.
Great gear.
I was about to say, if there's anybody whose gear I'm going to talk about, it would be Jordan Grace.
She's got great gear, that Jordan Grace. Also, I mean, if your name is Thick Mama Pump, actually, that should be copywritten. I don't know if she's gotten on that, but I've just seen that on social media. So if you're familiar with our boy Scotty Steiner, Big Papa Pump, Thick Mama Pump. Yeah. Anyway, Thick Mama Pump. She said on Twitter that the Sandman of ECW fame came up to her and Tessa Blanchard and Su Yung and I believe a fourth wrestler who were all in the main event for Impact Wrestling, which we haven't really talked about much on the show. And Sandman came up to them and said, according to Jordan, that you guys are in the main event. Women shouldn't be in the main event. That's wrong. And then they're like, okay, well, you're being a disrespectful dickhead. And then he, that's sort of where she left it on the tweet. And then I heard her call into Busted Open Radio. And she said that that's not all. He was around the locker room and he said, he came back and he said, I took a poll and a lot of other people agree with me. Women should be in the main event. This is ridiculous. You need to find a man to do this. And yeah.
I've been polling the guys backstage. He makes this comment and then waits however long and then comes back so
I don't think I made enough of an ass of myself.
I've been polling everybody around after we had this conversation. It's really been weighing on my mind. I figured I'd ask some of the other guys in the back what they thought, and they agree with me. Oh my gosh.
So I want to say, as far as my 2 cents on the matter, I thought it was great drama on Twitter and the Squared Circle Reddit and other places where people are arguing about, obviously there's some sort of red pill Dark Order style trolls that are like, yeah, he's right. Jordan Grace and all them, they need to sit down. I miss dudes wrestling. Mm-hmm. And then everybody else is like, no, they're kind of the most over people in Impact, so they should have a main event. Yep. Anyway, I thought it was really funny. And the one thing that no one ever said, I don't know if it's just protecting people with mental and emotional problems and diseases and shit, but no one once said that obviously Sandman was drunk. There's no way he wasn't shit-faced. Like, not defending him saying some bullshit, because I totally disagree with him, and I feel like he probably does feel that women don't have a place in the main event. Whatever. That's beside the point. To just do that and come up to this group of women and keep being like, nah, pull the guys, nah. Just like keep arguing. That dude was clearly fucked up. It's just like lit off his ass. Anyway, he's the Sandman. He used to he was before Stone Cold. He was
Stone Cold before Stone Cold, yeah.
And he was actually chugging the fuck out of them bitches.
This will be WrestleMedia or something. Go out and watch PWG 13. Happened a couple weeks ago. Basically a glorified AEW show. Like, a lot of your AEW favorites are on it, and they were having some really good matches. I personally liked this pay-per-view more than AEW Full Gear.
Full Gear?
It was a better AEW pay-per-view to me than Full Gear. Go, I don't know, figure that out. But yeah, go watch PWG 13 if you can. I loved it. One of my favorite pay-per-views that I've seen all year. It was great.
You know, this is Cole Keith signing off for the People's Pipe Bomb crew. The 5th of December is the recording of this. So, you know, next time we come back, maybe we'll check our Rolodexes, our schedules, our calendars, our what else you got?
Our Palm Pilots.
Our Palm Pilots, our Blackberries, our Abacus, our man. Seeing Stones.
Yeah, you all ask my mom. Know what I'm saying?
Great year.
Yeah, maybe by the time we record again, the Ring of Honor pay-per-view will have just happened.
Yeah, next time. So we'll see.
Or maybe we're about to be happening.
We'll talk later. We may talk to you before or after the holidays. It's not a given, but I want to say in advance, regardless, happy holidays to everybody out there. Whatever you're celebrating, enjoy it and have a good time with the people around you that give you support and love and care about you. Friends, family, just make sure to take care of yourself.
And if you're not celebrating and you don't have friends and family, any of that stuff, still have a good time.
Yeah, listen to this podcast and get shit-faced.
You can do that too, as long as that's your idea of a good time.
Roll up a blunt the size of your own head and then see if you can smoke it. No, roll up a blunt.
Roll up a blunt? Okay.
Roll up a blunt the size, I want it to be as thick as a Coke can. Pause.
God damn.
This is going off the rails right now. I don't know what's going on.
Roll up a blunt. No, take care of yourselves out there. Have fun.
Adios.
Adios, amigos.
Adios mio.
And remember, if you're going to shoot from the hip, have a happy holidays. Bang, bang.
Boing.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Peace.
All my WrestleMedia got spoken about in wrestling today.
World peace.
Word is life.
Cole Keith signing off. World peace.